Hey everybody, welcome to the CONCACAF Championship press conference with head coach Pat Noonan. If you have a question on the Zoom, please raise your hand. Si tienes una pregunta en el Zoom, por favor, levántate la mano. We'll begin with questions in person.
Sure. Pat, I will start with cliche maybe and ask you about Brandon. I understand the nature of the business. We all do. Players change club. What happens? But is this different? Will it feel different seeing him in the opposition colors because of, the role he played in the FC Cincinnati project and just all of that?
Maybe a little. Less so because we've been watching them, as their season started because, from afar you're rooting for early success for Brandon because we know what a great part of our history he was and what a great person he is. So, when we were away in preseason watching their games, it was great seeing his production and the immediate impact. So, yeah, when you walk out there tomorrow, maybe it's interesting to see him on the other side of things. But I think what you're going to see is a nice embrace from a lot of his teammates and coaches at the right time, and both teams going to compete, and then maybe having a chat afterwards. But it doesn't feel that strange. I think it's just exciting for us being able to match up against a top team with him on it.
And the way he's scoring right now and the quantity, it feels like as hot of a streak as maybe he was on at times in 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if just with the ways he's scoring, the kind of service that he's taking advantage of, does he look like the same Brandon, or is he doing some things? Is he progressed in this short period?
I think you see a lot of the stuff that helped him be successful with our group. One of the things you do see is the team that has very good wide delivery, and Brandon certainly knows how to get on the end of that. Some of the goals he scored with his head have been outstanding. So it's something we've talked about, and his teammates know from their time together that his movement in the box is difficult to handle. So it'll be something that we need to be very good with and organized with, when they're in our attacking third of the field, to locating him to try to prevent him and, dangerous teammates around him from, causing us problems.
What can you tell us about just Monterey? What's your doubt about them aside from Brandon?
Yeah, they're really good. Obviously they're sitting at the top of Liga MX, with Pachuca and the third team. Who am I missing here? Cruz Azul. And undefeated. They're just well balanced. I think they have really good experience, from the goalkeeper position in Andrada to, Hector Moreno, who we've watched, all the way back from our time, when I was working with U.S. Soccer and we were preparing for qualifying. So he's a very experienced player, very good on the ball, good leader. Gallardo on the left, excellent player, excellent wide delivery. Jesus Corona is a name that's familiar. You see Canales. There's a lot of names. Berterame. There's a reason they're at the top is because of players like this. Individual quality, collective quality. A team that can beat you in different ways, whether it's in possession with individual quality or how they play through you. At times, not afraid to play direct and use, some of the physical profiles and presence up top to be able to get in behind, create knockdowns. In transition, they recover very well defensively, and on the attacking side, they move forward to goal very well. They do a really good job of getting numbers into the box, and that's difficult to deal with, from the defensive side of things. So it's been, just a couple days of review once we, finish the Chicago game, but. Like I said, we've at least seen more of their games because of us following Brandon to, I think, have a better idea prior to, these past 2 or 3 days. But a really strong side. It'll be a good challenge for us.
You guys added DeAndre to the mix. What can you say about what we expect him to bring the team and how quickly, he's obviously an experienced player. You feel like he can slot right in? What are your expectations?
Yeah, he'll have a role in this game. He's been a part of these games. I asked him earlier, how many, if he could count, whether it was with the U.S. team or in Champions Cup, and he can't even name them all because it's been a lot, going all the way back to a Sounders day. So I think his experience can be very, very helpful for us. It's only been a couple days, but you can see his qualities immediately. He's stepped into the group with a confidence that you would expect of an experienced player that's played in Europe, played it on successful teams in the league. So we're thrilled to have him, and I think he's going to be somebody that can be very helpful for us in this competition against the top team.
This is kind of the first opportunity to show what you learned from those experiences, or is that overstating?
I think our experience and who we've brought in, with DeAndre, with Miles, along with just being players that we identified and thought would be a good fit for our group, can help us navigate this, certainly, because they've experienced these games before, and as has Matt. I'm looking at through our lineup of guys who have experienced, whether it's Champions Cup or against Liga MX teams and players in the past. I think the additions can really help a group that is relatively new in terms of this competition and this team in particular. So, yes, I think it'll benefit us early on, but it's also early on, so we have to see what it looks like with all of these guys together.
Go to Zoom now, and Leopoldo, go ahead.
Coach, yeah, I'm here. Coach, I don't want to be repetitive, and it's not my intention to go into the strategics, but what is your way, or what is your system to prepare for the next opponents? How you work when you know that you have to face the next opponent? What is your sessions or your time entitled to know how to prepare your strategy?
It changes every game. Our focus first and foremost is on our own personnel and trying to find ways to play in a way that suits us and benefits us. That's how you prepare. It doesn't always play out that way, but each game looks different. There's actually some similarities to the Chicago game with Monterrey that we've looked at, and while the teams are maybe set up differently, or in Chicago's case we saw something different than we prepared for, you try to prepare ideas for the group that play to our strengths and look at ways to expose your opponent, and then you see how that plays out and you make adjustments in game. But Monterrey, like I've said, is a new opponent for us, so you're looking at their league play, their Champions Cup games to evaluate how we go about things with our game plan.
Go back to you here for Pat Brennan.
I know you'd always said that you wanted the team to get, you wanted the club to get this exposure, this opportunity, challenge yourselves, see where you're at compared to other great teams in this region. The fact of the matter is, here in the round of 16, FC Cincinnati, a team that won a trophy in MLS last year, will be facing the number one team in the region in the round of 16. Is that? I wonder if people have asked me, and I wonder if you think this is too early for two teams of that caliber to be meeting in the competition. I know it is what it is, but
it's the way it is. It's not too early. It's good. It's just good to be playing top teams in tournament play. We looking back to last year with Leagues Cup when we played Chivas. That was at the time a top team, in the league as well, and a great game, a great environment. It was something new for everybody. So, I imagine the atmosphere will seem similar or feel similar to last year. I know it's a different competition, but it's not too early, and it's a good for us. Specifically, it's a good early test to see what some of our new faces look like against top competition, and what the group looks like as we continue to evolve and grow together.
DeAndre's addition solidifies that right wing back. Right? You guys have three decent options there at least. But with Luka out, I'm curious what you thought of Muya playing on the left side, and is that you feel like that's an option you'll continue to look at going forward, or how do you handle that?
We like the depth we have at that position on both sides, and with Yuya, I've said it many times. He's a versatile player that allows you to look at different things because of his physical attributes, his technical ability, and his willingness to help the team. And so it was last minute, but we thought him being on the left was something that we could still find success with. And I thought he did a good job. He's, when you're technically a solid player, you know how to receive the ball, you know how to play out of pressure. You can be positioned in different places on the field and find a way to impact the game in a positive way. So I think when we look at the physical numbers too, we know he can do it through the first couple games. So that's important because it's demanding, and now it's, for me, the production, because we ask a lot of our wingbacks, and we ask a lot of them in terms of getting into spots higher up the field to impact things in front of goal. So, that's something I think, certainly needs improvement, but I thought his positioning, recognizing when to release to get pressure to, wide areas when, sometimes there's uncertainty about, is the center back, is Ian ready to cover for him and shift wide? I thought that you could see progress there for sure. And then just understanding how to position himself when we have the ball to make an impact. So overall, a strong performance by Yuya, but not unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it feels like, is he getting closer?
He's available. He's been cleared. So he's been with us full in training, and now it's just kind of, what makes sense to start to, integrate him into the 11 or on the bench. So that's a positive.
And thank you very much.